Hello and welcome into Mauricio's Corner. I'm Cole Pepper along with Mauricio Ruiz, and what a month we have ahead of us here in the world of soccer. And Mauricio, we're going to start with a big announcement that happened last month and is going to be impacting what happens around our area, certainly with the Women's Super League announcement. A big announcement by the USL and the Women's Super League really launching this league forward, and we know that that's going to be part of what's happening here with JaxUSL.
Yeah, exciting time for women's soccer in general. Exciting time for the USL launching the Super League, finally announcing the original 10 teams that will be coming in 2024. And then exciting for us here in Jacksonville to get announced into that group and as well that will be coming in 25, 26. Really historic for the city of Jacksonville to have a women's professional team and for us to have a women's professional soccer team.
First time ever in Jacksonville, a professional women's franchise of any kind. So that's going to be a big deal for sure. There were other big announcements made here over the last week in the world of soccer, including with the U.S. men's national team. B.J. Callahan has been elevated to head coach for the CONCACAF Nations League Finals and the Gold Cup after Anthony Hudson departed to accept another opportunity. And Mauricio, this is a guy you know something about.
Yeah, I know B.J. well. We both came up through our assistant coaching days in college. He transitioned into the Philly Union, to the academy, and to really just continue to escalate his coaching pedigree. He was in the World Cup group in this year, and within 6 months, it's funny how quickly things change. He goes from the fourth chair behind Greg, the transition that we're all aware of, and now he's got the chair number one. So a big opportunity for him, someone that deserves it, someone that works hard, knows the game really well, but he's going to get a shot to take the team in the Gold Cup. He's been given that reins to take the team in the Gold Cup and really create his resume from that point on.
It's going to be fun to watch what happens there, of course, with an eye toward what happens for the World Cup in 2026. All right, how about closer to home here, when you talk about the U.S. Open Cup, Mauricio, we still have two teams from the USL Championship still alive and playing in the quarterfinals. Pittsburgh Riverhounds will play at FC Cincinnati on Tuesday, and then Inter Miami travels to Birmingham Legion. The Legion will host on Wednesday. These are two clubs who are really focused on making this deep run in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah, what an exciting last week was. You know, the Legion, both teams hosting Pittsburgh. What a great crowd, both record crowds at home. Now Pittsburgh has to travel to Cincinnati, so a game that you never know what's going to happen there when the team travels. But Birmingham hosting that game at home. They had a 12,000 plus, which is a record for the franchise, and I guarantee you there's going to be some extra fans in that game. But with a real opportunity, it's not like Inter Miami is one of the top teams in MLS today. They're just trying to find their footing. So Birmingham have a real shot to advance, such as Sac Republic last year did.
It went all the way to the finals a year ago. Let's take a closer look at the USL Championship standings, and we will start in the West, where the aforementioned Sacramento Republic still on top, plus 18 with a goal differential. They have been impressive on the attack.
Yeah, a team that's really comfortable leading from the front. Now it's everyone about chasing them. But just one of the better plays in the league. You know, they're scoring tons of goals. A team that's really disciplined. They don't give up a whole lot. So they're good away from home. They have different strategies. But a team that's just really comfortable where they are, it's going to be difficult for anyone to catch them right now.
And watch out, because somebody trying to catch them, coming like a freight train, dare I say, the El Paso Locomotive have won 5 straight to climb to within 5 points of the Sacramento Republic. They're the hottest team in the West.
Yeah, hottest team in the West. They're slowly climbing. I think they're getting healthy. Their identity, brand new head coach this year, so there's a transition from last year. So beginning of the year, always a little bit of time to kind of get to know each other. But now that they're rolling, as you said, Locomotive coming through, really difficult team.
And let's change our focus now and look at the Eastern Conference. This is, of course, the conference that Jacksonville's team will play in once the play begins. Tampa Bay on a roll right now. 5 straight wins. They're now second on the table.
Yeah, and everyone at the beginning of the year was wondering what was happening with Tampa Bay. I think internally knew Leo Fernandez, their MVP from last year, was hurt. They're trying to figure out they have 17 new players into the roster this year. Coach Collins have them going now. They're rolling, and now not just from the East or West. They're the hottest team in the league, winning 5 in a row. This is the Tampa Bay team that we expected at the beginning of the year. I think Coach Collins expected as well, and they're pushing.
Well, we also mentioned Pittsburgh. They've won 3 straight, plus their run in the U.S. Open Cup. But Memphis, another team to keep an eye on, Mauricio, right now, 4 wins and a draw in their last 5, and they're creeping up the table.
Well, and if you look at it, they've only have 9 games compared to 12 and 13 that other teams have played. So once they complete their schedule, they should be a team, if they continue on this run or some part of this run, they should be up there with Battery, with Louisville, and with Tampa Bay, really pushing for that top spot.
All right, speaking of Louisville, they are one of the teams involved in this week's game of the week that you looked at. What a matchup here between Louisville City and Indy 11, playing there in Indianapolis, and this one went right down to the wire.
Yeah, Coy, and Coach Danny Cruz, really one of the better coaches in the league, young coach. I think this league is just filled with young coaches, guys that just finished playing but went through coaching education, have an identity how they play. In Louisville City with Dennis Cruz, one of the better rosters in the league, one of the deeper rosters in the league, tons of veterans, but some young, exciting players as well. And I just want to show some clips in kind of how they go about what they do. A team that always creates options. We talk about triangulation, finding options for players. Every ball carrier has always 2 options on the ball. So as you can see there, he can go negative, he can go sideways. If he turns, he's got forward options as well. And you can see as the clip continues, the movement off the ball. No one is static. Players coming from north to south continue to have plenty of options on the ball. He can reset the play negative, he can hit it forward, and this is what I love. Now that they've created spaces in between lines, you see the Indy 11 players in yellow there. They're actually recovering in the spaces that now Louisville is trying to attack. So this is a team that has great identity in how they play, great player movement, great ball movement. And we talk about players either penetrate with the pass or on the dribble. Now, Indy does a great job of denying the central penetration. Look how many numbers they have centrally. Then where's the space? The space is out wide. And look at the wide jerseys again, just moving. No one is static, creating options again. 1, 2, 3 options to pass the ball to. Great movement off the ball. And now look at the runs in behind. Now the defenders have to make a decision. Do I step to the ball carrier or do I leave the runs behind? They make neither decision. Shot on goal. They're not just an attacking team though. They set up in a 4-1-4-1 defensively. So you see those top 5 players in a white jersey there. They're just kind of waiting and baiting Indy to either make a mistake, to force the pass, but this is a trigger on the press. The minute the ball goes negative, they step to the ball, they force an error, and guess who's up there to receive the ball? Those top 5 players in an advanced position to receive the ball, to combine with each other. Once again, great running behind, great opportunity for a shot, always options. Ball gets a little deflection, it goes for a corner kick, and we love for the goals to come from shots, from combination play, but sometimes it's just good set piece goals. So from that first play, they get a corner kick, it's a shot on top of the box, get a deflection, really well set up. Ensues a second corner kick from the same exact play. You see the pot of players there, great teams, well-coached teams, or well-designed on set pieces as well. Good disguised runs. You look at Indy, who should have him, who's disguising him, and the goal goes in the back of the net. And it's a team that you think they're going to score from the run of play quite a bit, but they're well set up on set pieces as well. They're a full organized team, a very well-coached team. Coach Danny Cruz, to me, is doing one of the better jobs in the league. The standing show on it. He's got a great roster to back it up, which helps. But a really exciting team, and I think they're going to be pushing with the Battery and everyone else on top of the East.
You've talked a lot about the young, talented coaches in this league, and he's one to watch for sure. There are a lot of guys who are really making their mark on the USL Championship as either first-time head coaches or young head coaches coming off of their playing careers. All right, that is a good look at one of the key teams in the USL Championship. There is a lot coming up here in the month of June, though, Mauricio, not the least of which being you're going international.
Yeah, I get to make a trip over to Holland this week to do an educational trip on women in sport, right? Looking at the growth of women in soccer. The USL has the USL Super League, and its presidents and some staff members have set up a great trip of education around women in sport, really around the UEFA Champions League. Barcelona versus Wolfsburg, they'll kind of culminate the trip. But we're making trips to Ajax, to the legendary Cruyff Stadium, which would be exciting for me. It'll be my first time going there. But also to sit down with the Women's Dutch Federation and see what they're doing, how they've grown the game over there, and what lessons can we learn from them.
That's going to be a great opportunity, and we look forward to hearing and seeing what you experience there next week on Mauricio's Corner. We'll go international next week and see what Mauricio is able to bring back for us for Mauricio's Corner next week. Well, we have a lot to get to in the month of June. Not that you mentioned the UEFA Women's Champions League. There's the matchup right there with Barcelona against Wolfsburg. And you can join us for a watch party on Saturday at Colhane's on Southside Boulevard. It is a 9 o'clock breakfast start, a 10 o'clock kickoff, but we'll start the party at 9. Be sure to go on JaxUSL.com to register. The tickets are free, but we'd like you to RSVP. You can also check it out on all of our social channels. Going to be a big month of June for sure, and it all starts next week. Mauricio, thanks so much. For Mauricio Ruiz, I'm Cole Pepper. That's Mauricio's Corner. We'll see you next week.